welcome to the Fingal Business Connect. This is being put on by your local enterprise office in order to support you during current restrictions. The idea is that we'll have a good time today doing a bit of learning from our guest speaker, Declan Coyle, and then also to connect with each other through some networking. Great day today planned by the local enterprise office. We want to thank them for organizing this. So Declan Coyle, who will be your guest speaker today, is a director of Andec Communications and a longtime entrepreneur. He is the author of The Green Platform and Living the Green Platform, so two different books. He'll tell you, I'm sure, a little bit about that, all about positivity and energy. So without further ado, Declan, I'll turn that over to you. We can get your slides up and look forward to your session. After that, we'll circle back for a bit of networking. So thank you, Declan, for joining us, and we look forward to hearing what you have to say.
Okay, Nancy, thank you. And again, the Green Platform, developing radical resilience, sustainable tips to create a culture of increased performance, productivity, and high positivity and profitability. Sometimes, like this poor old horsey here, the thing that holds you back is all in your head. When you think of the limiting beliefs that have held us back over the years, that horse could pull that chair all over the country, but the horse is conditioned from the outside in. This is an article in the Business Post last March that Michael Brennan did, but I was interested. He interviewed me for about 3 hours here. And then the editors went back and I didn't know what they were going to put into it, but I was very interested in the heading they took out of it. And that is, I would always say to people, don't believe a single thing I tell you, test it out in your own life. And I'd say the same thing here. These tools, don't believe them, but test them, try them, and see do they work. And I know from experience and from thousands of others around the globe, they really do work. They do change lives, and they are transformational. Nikos Kazantzakis, the author of Orb of the Greeks, said, when you passionately believe in what doesn't exist, you create it. I used focus on that idea of belief. But then the more I go on in life, the more I realize it's not just belief, but it's the emotion, it's the feeling, it's the passion you put into your belief that'll make the difference. And having that passion, having that powerful why makes a huge difference and gives you certainty. Again, this little short workshop is based on the two books, The Green Platform and Living the Green Platform. And the Green Platform is life-changing in more ways than one, because we have a special needs child there. You see him on the left, Alexander. He has Mold Wilson syndrome, which means he'll never talk. He won't walk until he's about 16. He's 15 now. He hasn't eaten for the last 15 years. He's starting to take a few bits orally now. He's on 33 medications a day. He's doubly incontinent. He'll be in nappies for the rest of his life. And he was 4 months in Crumlin 2011, 4 months 2012. But having said that, he's a fantastic young man. And because the Jack and Jill Foundation and St. Catherine's Special Needs were so good to him, all of the profits from the Green Platform go to them. So there's some of the profits, 20,000 so far to Jack and Jill and St. Catherine's. So the Green Platform is life-changing in much more ways than one. And there he is, where he is now, down at the seafront in Wicklow. This is the house where I grew up in County Cavan, just the last farm in Cavan. Across that ditch was Meath. And there we had horses, cows, cattle, sheep, and pigs. But we also had a lot of handed down scripts from the 14th century, the 16th century, the 18th century, that looking back now, they didn't serve us well. Because in Dungimmon, it was outside conditions determined our inside conditions. It was bad weather outside, you felt bad inside. Nobody ever told us that you have a choice, that you can choose your inner weather, and that it has nothing got to do with the outside conditions. And then we had a lot of auto-suggestions to be miserable. In that tribe where I grew up, knowing that the subconscious won't process a negative, the subconscious won't process not, don't instead of or without. It'll only process the picture and the emotion connect with the picture. So if I say to you, don't think of a white rabbit, the white rabbit is there. Don't think of a polar bear in Alaska, not a red polar bear, not a blue polar bear. But you see, a mother would say to a child, be careful, don't drop that. The child would drop it. The mother would say, I could see it coming, I knew it was going to happen. You don't listen to me. The problem is the child listened. Don't bang that door to a child means bang that door. So auto-suggestions in our tribe, we'd meet somebody, and the auto-suggestion to be miserable was, we'd say, how are you doing? And the answer would be, not so bad, which was bad. How are you doing? Hanging in there, surviving, keeping the head over water, keeping the wolf from the door, paying the bills, can't complain, got one down and clear, 2 steps ahead of the hearse, and then one up in Oma, sitting up on 8 and a bit, the hospital bed one. And an old man, Mick here in Bray, a few years ago, 85, he's bent over, said, how are you, Mick? I said, the old maggots are winking up at me now. And then we wonder why we're having bad days. And I had a man down at Cork, and he said, I went up west, I went to Mayo. He says, I drove them crazy. What do you mean you drove them crazy? He says, I went all positive. You what? I went all positive. What do you mean you went all positive? Well, I discovered psychosomatically, you cannot say great and feel bad. So people ask me, how are you doing? I said, great. And I was almost physically attacked. Now there's a man up the north, John Conway, he's a great character, runs a big company there. But John, you ring up John, you say, John, how are you? And he says, if it was any better, I'd be elevating. But I have one wee problem. What's that, John? Nobody ever told me it'd be this good. And then one guy rang him up one day. And when John said that, his friend said, F off, you be your Conway, you know? And John said, listen, why must I feel bad to make you feel good? And it's that thing of we can choose to be positive, to be happy each day. Now, that's the house that it is today, but no one ever told us there that inside conditions, that you could choose that inside you have this beautiful home where you can choose the kind of day you're going to have. And that we can actually give each other auto-suggestions to be happy. And, excuse me, and that is the power to choose. So happiness, the purpose of life is to be happy. And the only way I know to be happy is to make somebody else's life a little bit better. The basis of life is freedom. The purpose of life is joy. They did a study from the 50s to 2006 about happiness and prosperity. They discovered we're 3 times richer, but not 1 jot happier. In fact, we have more stress, more young male suicide, more. They thought when they were doing the study, if we could get more cars, more shopping malls, more internet connection, we would be happier. But it's the opposite. The World Health Organization tells us that depression is now the single leading cause of disability globally, outstripping cancer, outstripping heart disease. So it's to get the idea of what is happiness and to make that choice. They did a study in Harvard recently, and at the end of the study, the result was that happiness is the new productivity. And another study showed that when your employees are happy, they're 22% more productive. I said that to a great woman who runs the Tara Centre in Oma, Sister Maura, one day. And she said, what? I said, this study said, Maura, that happiness is the new productivity. And she said, you mean they did a study to find that out? Sure, even the dogs in the street know that, she says. So much for the study from Harvard. But unconditional happiness is a choice. There's a man, Mickey Singer, he wrote 2 great books, one called The Untethered Soul and the other one, The Surrender Experiment. But he has this thing about the big choice you make in life is to be happy unconditionally. So we had a man on a test one day and he was doing it for 3 weeks. I'm going to be unconditionally happy. Outside conditions won't affect me. It's an inside thing. Met him 3 weeks later. Well, how are you? Well, I'm not happy, Mickey. Why not? My wife left me. And Mickey said, well, there you go, an outside condition. And Mickey says, if I met him 3 weeks later, I'd say, how are you? He'd still not be happy. Why? My wife came back. So it's making that unconditional choice. to be happy. Now, this same man, John, I was in the boardroom with him one day, and I said, John, what's the secret of your success? What are your top priorities here? And he said, well, my priorities, I don't care about customers and I don't care about profit. I said, what? John? He said, no. Well, I said, you're the first CEO I ever met who said he didn't care about customers and he didn't care about profit. He says, my number one priority, he said, is that all my employees would be happy, that they would flourish and be happy. That's number one. Number two is I want everyone to be the best version of themselves, the best that they can be, so that those around them can flourish and shine and be the best that they can be. And number three, I want everyone to achieve their full potential with me in this company. And if they cannot achieve it with me, he says, then I will facilitate them to wherever they can achieve it, because I have no interest in having Mozart milking cows or Michelangelo minding sheep. I want Mozart to be working at music. I want Michelangelo to be chipping away with a chisel and a lump of marble, because he said, and if you're doing what you love and you love what you do, you'll never work another day in your life. And he said, as a result of that, putting those priorities in place, then he said, that ripples out to customers and we get great service and profits come in the back door. So a recent study, again, this book, Positive Intelligence, showed that only 20% of teams and individuals achieve their true potential. So we have 80% untapped. Imagine if we could get 50% or 10% with no extra employees, but we have that 80% untapped. Now you might say, look, I'm flat out as I am. I'm up to capacity, but the company here, Andec Communications, Annette Kenny, who's the other director, my wife here, and Annette works in the company. She does video production, animation. She does training courses and all of that. And Alexander is 24/7 here. She's up at 3:30, 4 in the morning with him when his machine kinks and the tube kinks going into his stomach and all the rest of it. But a few years ago in St. Catherine's, they asked her, could she raise some funds for St. Catherine's? So she made a little video and went out and hit the streets and showed it to different people. But in the last 2.5 years, she's raised over 220,000 for St. Catherine's. So if Annette has that 80%, we all have that 80%. So what are your three fiercely important goals? What are your three FIGs, your three quantum leap FIGs? And are you clear in the company what your three fiercely important goals are? Because in a study of 1,100 companies, 150,000 people, Harris poll, when we ask people just what are the three FIGs, three fiercely important goals, only 15% knew. 85% didn't. And then we asked the ones who knew the 15%, how is what you're doing aligned to your goals? 6% said, yes, we have a clear alignment between what I'm doing and the three fiercely important goals of the company, the three top FIGs, and 94% said no connection. So for me, that says that how can you hit a target that you cannot see? I can take any one of you and train you for 20 minutes in archery, and then show you a target and and you will beat the world champion after 20 minutes. The difference is that I would show you the target and you can shoot at it, but I blindfold the world top archer and turn around and round and round, and they say, now shoot. How can you hit a target that you cannot see? And if you think it, ink it, put it in writing, and everybody should know it. Without a goal, it's difficult to score. And it's not just goals, because over the years, I've been working on people achieving their goals, writing their goals, getting their goals. And then I realized that no, winners and losers have the same goals, but winners have systems, processes, habits, small continuous habits. Because if you look at the goal to get a teenager to tidy the room, you go in and you say, the room is a mess. Okay, let's do 1 hour, 60-minute makeover for this room. Just clean it up, and you've achieved your goal. The room is clean. But if you haven't changed the underlying messy habits, in 3 days or 24 hours, you'll have the same room. It's the underlying system of habits we have to change. Sometimes you have a goal, it's the when-then syndrome. When I achieve this goal, then I'll be happy. No, be happy now with your system, your series of ongoing habits. The joy is in the journey. And this is a system. It's the continuous process of small beneficial habits. Your goal isn't to write a book, is to become a writer. Your goal isn't to win a championship, is to train a little better each time. Creating systems and looking at your overall trajectory is more important than setting individual own goals. It's systems over goals. Daily 5-minute task conversations with your green platform partner is the trajectory over one-off results. Systems, processes, and habits over goals. Now, when we ask, you have 23,000 employees, a study, what's the company trying to achieve and why? 37% had a clear understanding, 63%, 3% not a clue. What's the team and company's goals? 20% were enthusiastic and 80% were not. Is there a clear line of sight between their tasks and the team and company's goals? 20% had a clear line, 80% fuzzy. The company enables them to implement key goals. 15% yes, 75% no. And trust, do you trust the company? 20% yes, 80% no. Now, that's a survey of 23,000 employees. I'm not saying that it happens in your company, but it's just something to look at. Because if we get alignment, if we get, when the wild geese fly in V formation, one of the slipstream of the others, they're 71% more efficient when they fly as individuals. Now, if we can get that, the big picture, clear focus, what's your 3 fiercely important goals? Does everybody know them? For this coming month, these are the 3 top goals for our company, the 3 figs. And what are your 3 figs? What are your 3 fiercely important goals? And are they aligned with the 3 of the company? And then you get clarity, because this is all about focus and clarity. Everyone knows what. Everyone knows why. 80% of the energy to achieve a goal comes out of the why. Everyone knows how. Everyone knows the benefits for the company and the customers and themselves. Everybody knows the standards of excellence we're going to achieve. Everybody knows the time frames, completion dates, process review dates, and everybody is focused on their 20%, because 20% of our activities will give us 80% of our results, and 20% of our customers will give us 80% of our income. Our 10Xs, this is the big quantum leap goal each month. What's my big 10X, 50X, 100X? The big quantum leap goal is not about working longer, working harder. It's about seeing that big opportunity, and everybody is working out of their strengths. You have total clarity, total alignment. And again, the feeling, if you look at, have you ever been part of a team that was cohesive, connected, cooperative, and collaborative? Now, what is that feeling worth? Declan Coyle has give a great talk to the RSA in the States, it's on YouTube. But he referenced a study they did in Harvard, what just that feeling of being with a team that's cohesive, connected, cooperative, collaborative. In the study, 10 companies over 10 years, 5 were average. They hadn't that cohesive, connected, cooperative, collaborative thing. But the 5 were cohesive, connected, cooperative, and collaborative over a 10-year period. Their net worth was 765% better than the average ones. So that's the power of that feeling of having a great, connected, cohesive, cooperative, collaborative team. Motivation is 70% is influenced by the manager. And when people feel respected, they're 55% more engaged. Now to the red and green platform. Again, the red is very simple. The red is negative. The familiar past becomes a predictable future, and the green is positive. I imagine and create a future, a dream, a blueprint with a plan. I took the colors from lights, subliminally, red for stop, green for go. And it's a very basic system. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space, I have the last and the greatest of the human freedoms. And in that lies my growth and my happiness and my freedom. And the last and the greatest of the human freedoms is the power to choose. Viktor Frankl, who was tortured in Auschwitz during the Second World War, and he said they tortured me, they broke my body, they did operations in my genitals, but they couldn't touch my spirit. And every moment of every hour of every day in Auschwitz, I was happy, because every morning I made that choice to be happy. They could break my body, he said, but they couldn't touch my spirit. And there I discovered the last and the greatest of the human freedoms, to choose my response in any given set of circumstances. When you are faced with a situation you cannot change, whether it's COVID or Auschwitz, he said, you're challenged to change yourself and to develop this radical resilience, to react or to choose. So you have an event, it is as it is. You cannot unease it. We create and manufacture most of our own suffering through our rejection and non-acceptance of life as it is. So it is as it is. So you're emotionally honest, you feel it. If it's tragedy, you cry the tears. Loneliness, you turn on the tap. Love, you love fully. You honor your human experience, you're emotionally honest. You cannot pour pink positive paint over human suffering. But then in that space, we have the power to choose. And I can choose a red platform, the disempowered, the victim, the blame, the whinge, the complain, the whine, the poor me. And underneath that red platform is a septic tank of sabotage called fear. Or I can choose the green platform with the 10 most powerful words in the English language, no word more than 2 letters. If it is to be, it is up to me. If I choose the red platform, I'm choosing fear. Underneath that platform is a septic tank of sabotage called fear. F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. Self-doubt, procrastination, helplessness, but above all, average. If I choose the green platform, I'm choosing peace, to be totally responsible, to be positive, to be innovative, to be creative, to live with integrity, to have passion, to have trust, to have fun, to be joyful. Underneath the green platform is the field of all possibilities. I'm a goal giver, not just a goal getter. I choose actions that bring joy to others. I go with the flow of life. I'm one with life. I have an intention and I put conviction in that and manifest in reality. And every one of us have a unique talent, a signature strength to be used in the service of others. And I'm conscientious, and on the green platform, 10% of life is what happens to you, but 90% is how I choose to respond to it. And it's where my power and my treasure lies. When I was starting the green platform, the opening line I used was a quote from Paulo Coelho: "Everyone on the face of the earth has a treasure that lies waiting. And where your heart is, there's where your treasure will be." But to break it down practically, did anyone ever say something mean to you and you react and say something mean back? Automatic, unconscious, asleep in a way, where it ever once helped the situation or the relationship. But if you can take your time, get into that white space and choose the energy with which you want to respond. Don't bite the hook automatically, reactively, but choose the energy. Choose whatever energy: kindness, understanding, compassion. I remember Viktor Frankl was our visiting professor when I was doing my postgraduate studies in Ottawa. And I remember growing up in Dungimmon, how he challenged my thinking and all of the tribal things we grew up with. I'd say a thing like, "Oh, he made me very angry." And he said, "No, Declan, nobody's making you angry. That is your choice." Now, I still remember the feeling in my stomach. Hold on. And I went to deny it. I was a choice denier. It's no, he's making me angry. Because in Dungimmon, nobody ever told us we had a choice. Not only did people make us angry, but when they did, we had names for them. That's as far as we went. "Oh, that one, oh, she really annoys me." No, he said, "Declan, nobody is annoying you. You're making a choice to be annoyed." And somebody dropped something one day and he said, "Now look what you made me do." And Victor said, No. Now look what you've freely done. So that was huge for me. I'm choosing to be angry. I'm choosing to be annoyed. I did it, my choice. That we were never taught in school. In school, if I had to control the schools of the world, I teach them the power to choose, and I teach all children how toxic limiting beliefs are. So every day we write a chapter in our book. We can write the blaming, complaining energy vampire book. And, your anger, blaming, complaining, and it's a choice. Or I can write a chapter on the green platform, my choice. Energized, calm, enthusiastic, confident, creative, optimistic, and passionate. And if I'm going to work with a team from home or come in and work, I don't want to come into work with the victim chapter, resisting, complaining, blaming, spreading negativity, self and team sabotage. I want to come into a staff and to people who are working with me, who are responsible, who create breakthroughs, who inspire others to act, who have a positive story in the facts, and who explore possibilities. And basically, this is it very briefly. You have an event. This is what life is unfolding in front of me now. I cannot control what is unfolding in front of me now. I can, however, control my response. I do have the power to choose. My choice will land me on either one or two platforms: the negative, toxic, energy sapping red platform, or the positive, healthy, energizing green platform. If I land on the red platform, I'm the victim. And if I go unconscious and asleep by default and choose the red platform, I resist, complain, and blame life for what's happening. I assume the role of the helpless, whining victim and tap into that septic tank of sabotage underneath the red platform. I become an energy vampire. I sap and drain your energy. And you know these energy vampires, it's not their bad breath or their body odor, but my God, they're whinging, they're whining, they're moaning, they're complaining, and they suck the energy from you like a vacuum cleaner. And you're going around thinking you're having a bad day. No, you're not having a bad day. You just met me on the red platform. But I can choose the green platform where I'm aware, awake, alert, centered, and still inside. I can proactively choose my response. I can create something new from the field of all possibilities underneath the green platform. And the great green platform question is, how do I respond with joyful, loving service to whatever life is unfolding in front of me now? Then the moment that this present moment, will it be better because it encountered me, or will it be worse? It took 13.8 billion years to get here. So let's make it a better moment. How do I respond? With joyful, loving service to whatever life is unfolding in front of me now. COVID, lockdown, working from home, Zoom, boom, whatever it is. Choose the green platform. So does the outside, and this is the Dungiman thing, does the environment and the past determine my thinking and automatically my feeling? Red platform, outside in. Or does my thinking, my vision, my plan determine my environment, my present, my future? Green platform, inside out. That's an egg. Now, if an egg is broken from the outside, life ends. But if an egg is broken from the inside, life begins. All real and lasting change starts on the inside and works its way out. So again, your personality, how you think, how you act, and how you feel creates your personal reality. But again, where I grew up in Dungiman, it was the outside conditions created, influenced how we thought, how we acted, and again, how we felt. To react or to choose, automatically we reacted. To be the victim or the victor, we were almost conditioned to be victims. Oh, terrible day, look at the weather. We could be a victim of the weather. So outside conditions, inside though you have a beautiful home, focused, centered, and at peace, and there you make your best decisions. And don't get trapped in the when then syndrome. When I achieve this goal, then I'll be happy. No, it's the joy is in the journey. But inside, remember, you have this quiet place, this beautiful home. So you have this beautiful home where you're focused, centered, and at peace, and there you make your best decisions. Because outside you may have storms, you may have sickness, you may have cancer, you may have accidents, you may have fatigue, you may have COVID, or even death. But inside, you have this beautiful home. Viktor Frankl, when he said they could break my body, but they couldn't touch my spirit, he was talking about this beautiful home inside. And that's yours, where you are the inner observer, you're the alert watcher, you're the noticer, and you have that quiet place. An example of this, you're driving down the road, somebody cuts you off in the traffic, you scream and shout and curse and make rude gestures. Then the outside is influencing your inside. But if you can stay inside and remain focused, release it, bless it, you'll make much better decisions. When you scream and shout and curse and get all emotional, in a cost-benefit analysis, 100% cost, 0 benefit. But if you can stay inside in this beautiful home, then you have 100% benefit, 0 cost. A lady was on the phone to me a few weeks ago who had cancer, and she had to go in for an operation, and she was all upset over it. And I said, well, what are you afraid of? Well, what if they make a mess of the operation? It was on her neck. And I said, but why would you make up a story that makes you feel bad when you make up a story that makes you feel good? What if they do a great job? And I said, inside you have a beautiful home nobody can touch. Cancer can't touch it. Nothing can touch it outside. COVID can't touch it. You have this beautiful home. It's all right, she said, for you to say that, but you've never had cancer. No, I said, but my sister has had cancer, leukemia. For 3 years, my sister Kay, she had 3 courses of chemotherapy, all the side effects and all the benefits. And right up till her death on the 25th of September last year, she never left that beautiful home inside. You say, Kay, how are you today? Oh, today I'm better than yesterday. and then you'd wipe her lips with the Vaseline. Oh, thank you, you're so good. She never left that beautiful home inside, and you have that beautiful home, and that's where you'll make your best business and family decisions. St. Francis said one time, don't lose your inner peace for anything whatsoever, even if the whole world seems unjust. So it is as it is. On the red platform, the pronoun is you or they. I blame you, I blame them. On the green platform, the pronoun is I. I have responsibility, the ability to choose my response. But go back to that. Once I point a finger at you, there's three fingers pointing back at me, but generally the problem is not in you. The problem is in my pointing finger. Again, the ABCs of the red platform are anger, blame, complain on the red platform, awareness, belief, and breaking limiting beliefs on the green platform, commitment to do what I'll say I'll do long after the mood in which I said it is over. And it's that continual movement from one to the other, where we undo our conditioning, where the familiar past used to become the predictable future. But now we can create an inspiring green platform vision of the future. Am I going to be defined by my memories of the past and the external environment? Or am I going to be defined by a green platform vision and map of the future? Anybody who ever changed history did it because the future dream was more real in their heads and their hearts and their souls than the outside conditions and the memories of the past. If not, the great history changes like Martin Luther King, when he gave that famous speech to 250,000 people at the monument in Washington. If he was on the red platform, he would have said, I have a complaint. I have hundreds of complaints. I have thousands of complaints. Let me start with the Ku Klux Klan. And let me start with the buses and the restrooms and the whole lot. No. He didn't go to the external environment of the familiar past. He said, I have a dream. And lest we forget, he kept repeating, I have a dream, I have a dream. And he put very concrete images and pictures to us. I believe that one day Black children and white children will play in the same schoolyard. So we too have that power. I'm not a passive observer, I'm a proactive creator. And every single day we make a choice, red platform or green platform. You can see here who's on the red platform and who's on the green platform. This is a little girl called Cariona. She's from Vermont, and I did a lot of work with her grandfather's company in Vermont, but Cariona would come out to dinner with us in the evening, and I explained to Cariona all about the green and red platform, and she's a beautiful little girl, but her grandmother sent me, Pam sent me her home workbook, her home school folder, and on it Cariona had written, at 6 years old she had written, it is my choice to be on the green platform, to be positive, to be happy, to be kind. Now, it is my choice. At 6 years old, she got it. I was 23 and I still didn't get it. I thought people did things to me. I thought the weather upset me. You know, I thought outside influenced my inside. And I would love if every school in the world, every homework book in the world had this, and every office had it, and every plant had it. It is my choice to be positive, to be happy, to be kind, and we'll change our world. So Caroline Myss, in her best-selling book, The 7 Stages of Power and Healing, said, if I ran the world, I would make studying the power of choice part of every school curriculum, that everyone should learn that the power of choices you make have infinite consequences. So I'm not responsible for other people's actions, but I'm totally responsible for my reactions. Now, it's one thing knowing what to do, but it's a totally other thing to do what we know, the knowing-doing gap. Even though Viktor Frankl told me all this and I understood it intellectually in the 1970s, as my mother said in Dungimmon years ago, I went in one ear and out the other. Because to undo the conditioning and start living a different kind of life, I remember it wasn't until Genevieve was 20, she's about 26 or 7 now. But about 23 years ago, she was 4, I was putting eggs in the fridge. And she said, Daddy, I want to help you with the eggs in the fridge. And I said, no, Genevieve, they're very delicate, they're very fragile, I put them in myself. She said, no, Daddy, I want to help you, please, please, please. And I said, okay, well, be careful, just don't drop them. So on cue, what does she do? Drops the 2 of them. And I could feel all the parental muck downloading into my brain, and I could feel all the automatic reactions. I could feel myself becoming a bundle of automatic reflexes being triggered into automatic outcomes by people in events and situations. But suddenly I saw a little white space, and I saw a green platform the size of a postage stamp. And I said, Genevieve, isn't that a very interesting design on the floor? Do you think she would take a photograph of that and show it to Mammy? And she was so stunned. She caught my leg and she looked up and she says, Daddy, I love you. Because she was stunned that an adult had made a choice and didn't go automatic, didn't go by default red platform automatic. And I'd say that that moment I changed generations of automatic reactive responses in our family, from where cavemen and cavewomen in the caves dropping eggs from the trees on the cave floors. Shawn Achor, the professor in Harvard, said it's the lens through which your brain views the world that shapes your reality. And if we can change the lens, if we can change the platform, not only do we change your happiness, we can change every single educational and business outcome at the same time. You have to train your brain to be positive, just like you work out your body. So we go to stories then. Red platform, we have poison stories. Woe is me. Green platform, we have a power story. I can handle it. So an event has no meaning, a situation has no meaning, a fact has no meaning, unless I make up a story or an interpretation or a meaning. And feelings follow meanings. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Nothing is either good or bad, Shakespeare said, but thinking makes it so. The mind can make a heaven out of hell or a hell out of heaven, Milton says. And Epictetus says people are not disturbed by things, but by the views, the stories that tell themselves about the things. So my question is, why make up a story like this is a disaster where you have a septic tank of sabotage underneath that? Why don't you make up a story like, no, this is a great opportunity. The field of all possibilities are here. So Brené Brown said, we're addicted to our toxic stories. Successful people become adept at putting their out there stories out of their misery and creating new ones, empowering ones. Feelings follow meanings, stories, and interpretations. Feelings follow meanings. Where attention goes, energy flows, and energy flows where your attention goes. Your true superpower is where you choose to put your attention. And this is W. Mitchell, and he said he was in 3 very bad accidents and he was ended up in a wheelchair. He said, if I focus on what's bad, what's wrong, how inadequate I am, or what I can't do, isn't that what I'm going to get? What you focus on, you get. But if I focus on how powerful I am, how I can contribute, how I can make a difference, you see, isn't that what I'm going to get to? Because before my accidents, there were 10,000 things I can do. Now there are 9,000. Where do I focus? On the 1,000 I've lost, on the 9,000 I have left? It's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. And there was a man recently in the States, he had lost his 2 legs in Afghanistan and he had 2 artificial legs. And his friend came to him and he said, how come you're so positive and you have no legs? To which the man replied, how come you're so negative and you have 2 legs? So again, it's that story. So my big question is why? Why, when something happens, do you make up a negative story on the red platform that makes you feel bad, like this is a disaster, when you can make a positive story in the green platform that make you feel good, like this is a great opportunity? So energy, again, when you meet somebody, do you give them energy or do you sap their energy? Are you an energy transformer, a radiator, or are you an energy vampire, a complainer, and a drainer? Questions then, we have red platform, we ask poison questions. Why me? What else is going to go wrong? Poison questions. Green platform, how can I, what can I? Power questions. Poison questions are why can't they, why will you, why will you, why, when will you, why won't they, who dropped the ball? Green platform, how can I, what can I? No promotion. Why does this always have to happen to me? Red platform, poison question. Green platform, power question, how can I add value? People not doing their jobs. Why aren't they motivated? How can I improve my coaching skills? My child not doing well at school. Why can't the teachers do better? How can I help him or her with their homework? Red platform, somebody else must change. They or you must change. And I'm in the passenger seat in the car. Green platform, I am in control. I am driving the car. I can make the difference. How can I be the change I want to see in the company? How can I be the very, very best version of myself so that those around me can flourish and shine, be the best that they can be? What is the one thing that would radically change the culture in our company? What's our highest ideal as a company? How can we infuse this into our culture, our staff, and our customers? 20% of our activities delivers 80%. How can I get into that 20% of my activities that will deliver 80% of my results? Which means that if I have a list of 10 things to do, 2 of them are more important in terms of results than the other 20. When people are working out of their strengths, they're 8 times more engaged. So how can I get into my strengths today? When people are working, we ask people around the world, how are we, the company, using your strengths? 83% said no. So most middle managers spend their day teaching hens to swim. 70% said yes. Swimming is a duck's job, laying eggs is a hen's job. When we're not working out of our strengths, on the red platform, we have Mozart milking cows. On the green platform, we have Mozart playing music. Great managers, they studied 80,000 managers, and the most successful managers. And one thing they came up with was that the great managers had the ability to discover what is unique and great in an individual and capitalize on that. They built the job around the talent and the gift of the person. And then the great green platform question, how do I respond with joyful, loving service to whatever life is unfolding in front of me now? Poison questions, why can't they, why won't you? They must change, inaction, apathy. Green platform, how can I? I have the power to change it. If it is to be, it is up to me. I can take action. Beliefs, red platform, I believe I can. Poison belief, green platform, I believe I can. Power belief. Again, if I drop negativity, fear, and doubt, it might be easier to achieve our goal. Now, when we look at goal achieving, most goal achieving plateaus, flat lines at 40%. But there's a method, if I can get, we can get goal implementation up to 95%. That's a 55% increase if I have what we call a green platform partner. And I've been doing this for the last 30 years with people. And it's very simple. Every Friday for 15 minutes, you get a green platform partner who will hold you positively, constructively, accountably to be the best you can be. And there's 5 questions we look at. Was I on the green platform that week? Because that's the platform of the culture. And culture will eat strategy and plans for breakfast. Did I help create that positive green platform culture? Was I working out of the 20% of my activities that gives me 80% of my results? Was I working out of my strengths? How are my 3 FIGs, my fiercely important goals going? And are they aligned with the 3 fiercely important goals of the company? Every morning did I do my 5 daily tasks first? And what's my big 10x, 50x rock for the month? And how is it going? So you line up every morning then, what's your 5 most important tasks for the day? And so we have this a methodology that works extremely well. Is your 5 most important tasks. Then you go quiet, you get into, you breathe, get out of your left brain into your heart space, and you just focus on that intention, the 5 tasks. You rehearse the steps, and then you get the great feeling of having them completed. Then you have gratitude beforehand, and you hand it over to be, you don't have to worry about how you learn to allow, because you've already done the work, and now you're ready to share that with your green platform partner. So the process is very quickly, it's 5 minutes, 5 tasks, 5 days. 5 minutes in the morning, you phone your green platform partner. These are the 5 things I'm committed to doing today. What are your 5 things? And how do you get on with yesterday's 5 things? 555, tasks, minutes, days, share them, review them. And then what you highlight one of them, one of the 5, because one of the 5 will be your 20%. That one, which one is your 20%? So this takes it out of the world of goals into a system or a process that will help you achieve your goals. Get this system, 5 minutes, 5 tasks, 5 days. And at the end of the year, you'll have achieved 2,600 tasks, and your green platform partner will have achieved 2,600 tasks. So finish with the 3 steps in the green platform formula. One is acceptance. It is as it is. I cannot unis it. But acceptance on its own can be degenerated into indifference or apathy. Then I must put plus PAN, plus positive action now. Of the 100 things, what one positive thing can I do? And the next positive thing, and the next positive thing. And then the whole universe will conspire with you. So it is as it is. Can you accept it as if you had chosen it? But whatever is to be is up to me. And the great green platform question, how do I respond with joyful, loving service to whatever life is unfolding in front of me now? 13.8 billion years to get here. Acceptance, plus positive action now, then next positive action, next positive action, next positive action, and the whole universe will conspire with you. It's like going down a corridor. Until you go down, no doors will open, but you go down and all the doors will open. Acceptance, you move and providence moves too. The universe conspires. If you don't step forward, you're always in the same place. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. And if you don't proactively go after what you want, you will never have it. So very quickly, some practical steps to train your brain during this COVID times. Study they did in Harvard again, to train your brain to be, this will actually change the physical landscape of your brain in 21 days. So 3 things every day, you do these 5 things, and it will change the physical landscape of your brain in 21 days. Every night, focus on 3 things you're grateful for, because gratitude and negativity cannot coexist. The neuroscientists have done a recent study where they'd had 4 days of gratitude, 10 minutes a day, and it boosted the immune system by 50%, over 50% actually. So 3 things you're grateful for. Journal and have 1 positive thing. And that means the brain has to scan to get 1 positive thing that happened today. Exercise 20 minutes to a half an hour. And then meditation, because the Harvard study discovered that what they said in the study was that most Americans were suffering from what they called cultural ADHD, running around, shallow breathing, an iPhone in one hand, a Starbucks in the other. And it's just that frantic stuff instead of breathing deeply, breathing slowly and follow the breath. And the last thing was an act of kindness, because when somebody received an act of kindness, they had an explosion when they put the electrodes on them of all the happy chemicals like dopamine, serotonin, and the good endorphins. Same thing happened to a person doing the act of kindness, and even somebody observing the act of kindness had the same response. Do that for 21 days, and it will physically change your brain and lock you onto the green platform. And this is a little study that it was Robert Holton did. It's not coming up here on the bottom, but it's very basic. He took the BBC program QED, because he had this happiness clinic, and said, okay, they given people who are clinically depressed for a month and then went to measure. And so they measured them first in Manchester and in a clinic, and then they brought them back in. But when they brought them back in after a month, they said, get new machines because the machines have been broken. They couldn't believe the results, that these people who were clinically depressed after 1 month were extreme optimists. 3 things. 1, they had to laugh every day, find some way of laughing, either watch funny movies or fake it till you make it or whatever, but get laughter going. Second thing was that they had to take exercise every day. And the third thing was he put stickers around their home and around their office and around in their cars, little green stickers, and everything was a little sticker. They had to think a positive thought. After 1 month, these people were extreme optimists. So there's a few tips you can have because anything that will boost your immune system during these times is useful. They did another study in Harvard on, it used to be IQ, and then it was EQ, emotional intelligence and awareness of self and others. And now it's all about PQ, the positivity quotient. Because in the study, when they got people to be positive in the present at work, productivity went up 31% and sales went up 37%. And doctors were 19% better at correctly diagnosing illnesses, which is huge when you realize that 45% of all diagnoses in the States are wrong. So again, you build a green platform, a red platform. I'm useless. I'm the world's worst. Things never work out for me. I'm a failure. I always ask poison questions. I always get poison results. I'm overweight. I doubt it. Every day is a struggle. I do it later. I just feel awful. I catch people doing things wrong. I don't have time to exercise. You can build a red platform on the trunk of blame, and down here you have poison ants, poison automatic negative thoughts, automatic by default, and you're floundering. And the cost of that to the economy in the year 2013 was $500 billion. That's $1,000 bills in my hand, 38 miles high. And 80% of the time we hang out in that negative place. But we can change. I am confident. This is how we build a green platform. I really enjoy choosing my response. If it is to be, it's up to me. I can do it. I always ask power questions. I always get power answers. I'm now fit and healthy. I fuel every moment with the best that's in me now. Every day and every way I'm getting better and better. I just do it now. I radiate joy. I catch people doing things right, and I love to exercise. That's how you build a green platform on the trunk of responsibility, the ability to choose my response. We get real results, and here we have healthy paths, positive, automatic thoughts. And again, people are flourishing. They're 31% more productive, 37% better at sales. And it's about creating that green platform culture. Apart from the financial thing, your immune system is boosted. The stress hormone cortisol goes down, and you're less likely to have lower blood. You will lower your blood pressure less. You have less pain, fewer colds, better sleep, less likely to have hypertension, diabetes, or stroke. And again, as Buffett and Drucker says, culture eats strategy and plans for breakfast. So that's the green platform happiness advantage. Every single business outcome improves. And when you feel part of a team that's cohesive, connected, cooperative, get that feeling, it'll add to the performance of the group 756% to the network over 10 years. Keeping the culture of the company growing and adapting and evolving. Mark Lyons said he's the CEO of Alltech, is his great responsibility as CEO of a company. That's briefly, quickly, the green platform. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
That was phenomenal, Declan. I can only echo the comments in the chat, which I've committed to, having there for you. There have been a few questions.
Yeah.
So if you want to stop sharing your screen, what I will do is let everybody see everybody. So if you want to turn on your videos so we can say hello to everyone. One of the questions that came up there was from Bob Hamilton. Yeah. And he was saying, using positivity, can you discuss how the written word or images on your website can impact on how potential customers feel about your product or service, as an emotional connection without face-to-face, is the current challenge with COVID. So can you address how written word and images on websites can affect potential customers and their feeling about your product or service?
Yeah, Nancy, it's huge. And it's that whole thing of the subliminal, the emotional connection at the end, where you get that emotional connection to the customer. And if you look at sales and marketing, like go back into the 20s, it was all about selling the features. And then we came up then to the 60s, 70s, 80s, and it was, oh no, you sell the benefits of your product for the person. And then we came to the 90s and the noughties, and it was all about, it's not just the features, not just the benefits, but it's about creating a great customer experience where the customer feels great and wants to come back and get them. But now it's moved on again in this time, Nancy, and it's all about being part of the tribe. And you're emotionally connected to the tribe and you don't know it. If you look at me now here, I'm in a tribe and I didn't know I was in the tribe, but I have an emotional connection to it. I have an Apple computer. I have an Apple Watch. I have an Apple phone. I have an iPad. I am emotionally connected to Apple and all of the stuff that Apple have done. And it's from the very beginning. I remember working at Apple down in Cork, and, the big signs up all over the place, like, it's make a difference. And it's that Apple thing of making it where you get people to tap into your vision. You don't want people who want to buy your products. You want people to believe in your vision for the world with these products and making a difference. So every word matters. Like, you take any of the great ads that you have, it's the emotional, like, you take something like very carefully picking that one keyword. McDonald's, you can think of 1,000 words from McDonald's, like, I'd be dodgy there. McDonald's, like, watch your weight, or be careful, cholesterol. But no. That they didn't get it. McDonald's, I'm loving it. It's that, and that's powerful, and it's all about, and they spend a huge amount of time, like, and it's I remember talking in California to milk producers, big dairy farmers, and I was saying, like, I was telling them that the story is more important than their product. And they went bananas. No, you tell me a story is more important than the milk in my can. No, absolutely not. I said, I absolutely am saying that. There's a company that has this, a drink, and I'll not describe what's in it, but it's sold to the world as the real thing. I think you guys might have the real thing with all kinds of vitamins and minerals and protein and calcium and all that, but you're too busy milking to tell a story. So huge impact getting the right words, and because we will get that emotional connection.
Thank you, Declan. I've put up a Menti slide there just for if everybody could check in with us so that we know you've attended the session, that'd be great. Another question came in from Niall with Digital Pitch. He was saying that he helps people to do their business online. And to be fair, he's never been busier and doing really great business. So congratulations, Niall. I totally understand this though. So he's saying that lockdown has been great for me. However, he feels really guilty when people say, how's business? And he says, with so many people suffering and working harder or longer hours, how can he go about sharing his positivity without being a disruptor or creating negative energy with others?
Well, I think, Niall, the best way would be to, ask you be very grateful for the way things are going with you, but ask about them. I got a great definition of humility the other day. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but it's thinking of yourself less. It's that, and if you just, you go with the gratitude for the way things are working, and then slip into maybe like, how can I help you? Like, is there any way I can help you or reach out to you? And because, and again, Niall, at this time, if you build a connection, if you take care of people during this time, they'll remember it forever.
Thanks, Declan. One other quick question. What is your top tip to deal with the energy vampires? That's from Rob Mullen. I know you talked about creating news stories. Would you have other key tips or your number one tip?
Yeah, well, I think that we all need these little triggers or anchors. Like I have here, like it's just a small little. It's a green platform. It's a band there, and it says like the green platform. My choice is on it. Because we're so conditioned that one man, and here's what he does up the north. He says, I get out every morning and I have a green mat outside the shower. And I step on that, and that I'm on the green platform for the day. So no energy vampire can get me. And he said, I become like a ship on the high seas, he said, because it doesn't matter how much water is in the ocean. If the ship is secure, no water can get in, no leaks can get in. So I kind of, I leak-proof myself for the day. And it doesn't matter if there's an ocean of negativity, it won't get in at me. That's number one. The other thing, and he said then at night he has a green toothbrush where he has his three gratitude things. So it's those little triggers. But the other thing too is that I would, in as far as you can, protect yourself. If there's a septic tank, I won't go into it without protection because there's invisible poison there. If I take food out of the fridge and I get sick with it and it's all gone off and I vomit all over the floor, I don't put it back in the fridge and say, I have another good feed of that tomorrow. I got very sick today. You put it in the bin. If I'm bleeding from my side and I see the sharks, I don't go swimming with them in case maybe they had their breakfast. You protect yourself. In the same way you protect yourself from energy vampires, don't hang around them. Make a list of your 5 friends and put a plus or a negative beside each one of them. If you have 5 minuses, you need a new set of friends.
Absolutely, absolutely brilliant advice. And I like the green band or some sort of very physical reminder.
Yeah, just a little
green toothbrush.
Yeah. One teacher down in Wexford, and he said, I started bringing in a green, lunchbox is green. And then another group of teachers one day, they came to the principal after and said, in the staff room, they have a green mat. And every morning they have a ritual. You ritualize to actualize. And each teacher goes up, stands on it for 3 seconds, and they make a commitment to bring positivity and kindness and happiness into their class. And that, they said, has transformed the school. But there's a lovely story, Nancy. I'll tell you of one little girl who was 8 years old. I heard it yesterday, and she's 8 years old, and the secretary of the school was a real energy vampire, and she used to come in and she'd given out to them. And this little 8-year-old said, "Excuse me, miss," she says, "why aren't you on the green platform? There's the red platform, which is negative, and you make a choice, and you're negative, and you're cranky, and you're miserable, and you're mean. But it's the green platform where you can be positive and happy and kind. Why don't you step on the green platform before you come in here?" Now, the teacher said, your one was in shock. Now, if I said it to her, she'd have slapped me. But an 8-year-old, and she has never once come in bad form since.
Brilliant. Fabulous. I mean, we could all be here for days. I'll tell you that now. I do know, though, that we were committed to doing a bit of networking before we get busy and get on with the rest of our day. So, Declan, on behalf of myself and everyone here, thank you so much for sharing of your wisdom and your guidance and your amazing leadership. We've all learned and grown and become better people as a result of today's session. So Declan, thank you for that. In fact, I think what we'll do is we'll be going into breakout rooms for anyone who wants to stay on. And I've made some notes there. I think what we'd like to do is look at the what is your dream? You know, we all have the power to choose. You know, Viktor Frankl, I've read a few of these books. He's amazing. So where is the power for you? What is the treasure? How do you maintain your home, your place of joy, your peace? What is your dream? So I think if we can focus on that, and maybe even, like you say, to ritualize is to visualize or to actualize. If we go into our breakouts and each of us talk about what that is, what is our dream, where is our power, and where we can go. If we take that first step to communicate that, that might be a great first step and follow up to your session today, Declan. Thank you so much. What I'll do for, again, anyone who wants to stay in the breakout rooms is we will create breakout rooms, put you in there. And if you can each just share briefly, what is your dream? What is your home? Where is that safe space where you can get your energy? Is that all right?
And just, Nancy, what I can do is to help people. There's 2 things I will send you. One is I'll send you the PowerPoint in case people need it.
Please do.
And the second thing is I did a podcast recently with Jack Kavanagh, and I'll send you the podcast. It's in Apple and Spotify. So it'd be a little reminder, you know, for people that they could listen to walking or in the car or whatever.
You're very good. Thank you again, Declan. And we will have a recording of today's session that we'll be able to share with those who are in attendance.